Hi, what a joy it is to have you on board decorating with Deco Planet. Yes, today I'm excited in my spirit. And as usual, we begin our decoration sessions with either an educational or inspirational input. But today it is something very innovative. It's something out of the ordinary. And this is from none other than Marisa Pierce on I Am Enough. Yes, Marisa begins by reminding anyone whose esteem is low, who lacks self confidence for whatever reason. She advises or posits this I am enough to help such a one through affirmation and awareness and consciousness of the fact that he or she is enough to be able to elevate your range or level of self esteem to a very high level just by saying these three simple words: I am enough. And she says it's not enough to affirm these three words. It is enough to have a consciousness, to imprint it in our minds, to code it in our minds that we had been enough at creation, we are enough, and we will always be enough. That this awareness, this truth should be indelibly imprinted in our soul, in our heart, and in our psychics. Yes, Marisa Pierce says when we begin to acknowledge and accept the fact that we are enough, especially when we put it in the personal terms by saying, I am enough, that it begins to create higher frequencies. It begins to create very, very beautiful things start happening to us, especially from the position of our soul and our psyche. Marisa says, when we accept the truth that we are enough and have been enough and will always be enough, we will begin to see our enoughness take roots right in our soul, just like a tree takes its roots and then grows into a flower and begins to bloom. That is how the consciousness, that is how the ability, that is how our in planting our enoughness can be alluded to a tree that grows and blossoms, as I said. Marisa Pierce says, when we begin to accept our enoughness and we begin to see our enoughness and we begin to see the enoughness of others, we give the world the ability, we give the world the permission, we give the world the consent to see our enoughness. And when the world, when the universe begins to see our enoughness in line with us, accepting the fact that we are enough, then beautiful things start happening to us. We start seeing ourselves doing things that we could not do before. We start seeing ourselves living more, loving more, and achieving more. Yes, we start having peace, and success becomes our daily ability. Just by saying we are enough, Marisa Pierce says, is something that is an inside job. I call it, in my own understanding, I call it a psychological journey. Because when we move inwards into accepting what was there, as we take this psychological journey towards accepting and imprinting our enoughness in our soul, in our heart, and in our psychic, then our enoughness from within starts moving towards us. And as it starts moving towards us, it creates the right vibrational energies that steps up on end ingredient in elevating our self-esteem, in elevating our self-confidence. And once our self-confidence is elevated, there is nothing that is impossible to us. Just by giving yourself the permission to imprint the notion, the consciousness of your enoughness can enable you to conquer the world, to conquer all obstacles that the circumstances may bring you to you or in your world. Yes, I enjoy this. I am enough. And Marisa says there are many exciting ways we can instill this enoughness in our consciousness, in our subconsciousness, in our soul, by instilling it in many things around our environment. She says we can imprint it on our t-shirts so that when we put them on, we remind ourselves about the consciousness of us having been enough at creation, not at birth, being enough now and will forever be enough. And our self-esteem cannot be questionable. Our self-esteem cannot be attacked by whatever forces nature throws our way. Marisa Pierce continues to say the other exciting ways by which we can imprint this our enoughness is we can stamp it on our fridge infringements, that is our fridge stickers. We can imprint them on our pens, on our lipsticks. We can photocopy them and put them around us in various places that we spend a lot of time in, like our offices, our bedrooms, our kitchens. We can put them on our dressing mirrors so that when we sit there, we reaffirm our self-confidence by telling ourselves, I am enough. We can equally paste them put them as our phone alerts, etc. And there is something that Marisa Pierce said concerning this innovative way of raising our self-esteem, when she says, by being conscious of our enoughness, it has nothing to do with our size or our sizes. It has nothing to do with our age. It has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with size. It has nothing to do with the numbers on our scale. Whether you're overweight or underweight, your enoughness has nothing to do with it. Those things have no influence on your enoughness, which means they have no influence on your self-esteem. When you begin to imprint the consciousness of your enoughness in your spirit, in your soul, and your psychic. The numbers on your bank account, it has no influence on your self-confidence. The numbers on your birth certificate, whether you are 100 years or you are 1 year, it has no effect on who you are. Yes, on your self-esteem, because your knowledge of your enoughness. Actually, Marisa Pierce says at one point that when we come to grasp and to terms with the notion and the consciousness of our enoughness defines who we are. So the definition of me is, I am enough. What a unique way, what an innovative way it is to raise up our self-confidence. What an unusual way Marisa Pierce puts it, that pits our self-esteem, our self-confidence in an unquestionable manner. I enjoyed it so much because to me it was so innovative. It was an unusual way of me looking at various principles and factors that can help raise up my self-esteem. It was just simply 3 words: I am enough. And when I understand what my enoughness is, I begin to accept my enoughness, and I see the enoughness of others. Beautiful things start happening. Success becomes an ordinary day achievement. You begin to live more, as I said. You begin to love more. And what a life it's going to be. What a fulfilling life. Fulfilling life we're going to have only by affirming and acknowledging and imprinting the notion of our enoughness. And of course, she says it's it's is it becomes more precarious and more it becomes more efficient when we verbalize it. So when I listen to this her literature, this her input, usually in between what I'm doing, I just affirm I am enough. I have always been enough. I'll always be enough. I give the world permission to see and to affect and to accept my enoughness, and I see the enoughness of everybody. It's like you see Christ in everybody. I understand that I'm complete, and the person in front of me is complete. It just makes my day. It takes up my not only my self-esteem. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of peace, and there is a lot of enthusiasm in my day and in my life. So, with all due respect to Marisa Pierce, I love her so much. I love her inspirational input. And of course, this I Am Enough has transformed my outlook to who I am and to who every other person is. And the universe, of course, resonates with my enoughness and makes me feel on top, makes me stay on top of the game, on top of the world, on top of everything. So I hope you love it. And of course, you'll start giving yourself permission. You'll start imprinting your enoughness by consciously accepting, declaring, verbalizing the fact that you are enough. And of course, you begin to see all these beautiful things happening to you. It's the easiest way to elevate your level or your range of self esteem. Of course, subscribe, like, and give us your comments of other inspirational inputs that can help us elevate our self-esteem to the levels beyond our wildest dreams. You're welcome to Decorating with Deco Planet. And as usual, I love you, and stay tuned with Deco Planet.